Last time she checked, everything was okay. There was no issue to be worked out or problem to be solved. He loved her. He would do anything for her. At least that's what he told her.
How did I get here?
Hi, Julia.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Domestic violence is a pattern of behavior used to establish power and control over another person through fear and intimidation, often including the threat or use of violence. Domestic violence and abuse can happen to anyone, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, income, or other factors. The problem with abuse is that the relationships typically don't start off as abusive, and often the partner still loves the person that's abusing them. Partners who are abusive become so later in the relationship when a level of comfort is achieved between the couple. This is problematic because at this point, feelings of attraction could have developed, making it much more convoluted to end the relationship. It is often difficult to point out an abusive person early in the relationship, as their priority is gaining comfort with the other person involved.
Domestic violence is most likely to take place between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. More than 60% of domestic violence incidents happen at home. It is important for everyone to stay aware of the early signs of domestic violence. Some of these early signs are name-calling, drug use, constant jealousy, and needing to know every detail of their partner's life. Moments like this happen out of nowhere for no reason. The breaking point is the accumulation of a series of unnoticed quarrels and fights that build to this moment.
Hey babe, how's your day going?
Where have you been?
I was just at Sea Cream.
Who are you with?
I was with Amber.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying, I swear.
That's bullshit. Get out of my house. What? You just like what?
It is important for people to be aware of signs of domestic abuse in their friends. Some of these signs include injuries and excuses for these injuries, absence from work or school, personality changes such as lower self-esteem, passive-aggressive behavior, self-blame, and even isolation by attempting to shut friends and family out of their lives.
Can I talk to you about something?
Yeah, of course, anything.
Maybe I'm just making it a bigger deal than it is, but Rick's been acting really weird lately.
What's wrong? You seem a little bit off lately.
Well, whenever I've been at his house, he's just been blowing up and screaming and yelling at me and just making me feel unsafe every time I'm around him.
You know, I'm sure he was just in a bad mood or something. All guys act like that. I'm sure you're just overreacting. Just try to stay out of his hair for a couple of days until he's in a better mood. Girls are just a nuisance when it comes to that stuff. Just keep an eye out if he's acting weird again.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Here, Amber didn't do the right thing. If a friend is to come to you with a concern regarding any type of abusive incident, it is necessary to take it seriously. Here could have been the point where Julia started to put the blame on herself, and it's important for the victim to know that it's never their fault. If someone you know is in a relationship like this, it is important to reach out to them and let them know that they are not alone and there is help out there.
One in 4 women will experience domestic violence during her lifetime. No victim is to blame for any occurrence of domestic abuse or violence. Women ages 20 to 24 are at greatest risk of becoming victims of domestic violence, and more than 4 million women experience physical assault and rape by their partners. It can be often very hard for one to leave an abusive relationship. Often they are afraid of what will happen if they leave due to threats by their partner. In other instances, if they grew up in a family with abusive parents, they may think abuse is normal. Also, they can be embarrassed to tell people or are too in love with their partner to leave them. Sometimes people are afraid to leave their partner because of cultural or religious reasons, or because they have children together. Lastly, they could have a reliance on their partner financially, or have nowhere to go if they were to leave. Most women brought to emergency rooms due to domestic violence were socially isolated and had few social and financial resources. Domestic violence is the third leading cause of homelessness among families, according to the U.S. Department of Housing.
Hey babe, how are you feeling?
I'm fine.
I really want you to cover up those bruises and clean up those cuts. I really don't want people thinking things if they see you.
I will.
I think I'm gonna go order some food. You want anything?
No.
All right, and I don't want you to have to make me do that again. You know I don't like when I hit you.
I'm sorry.
All right, I love you.
Julia never thought she'd be fearing for her life with her boyfriend Rick. He always promised to protect her, but Julia is really scared. She didn't see this coming, and now it's too late.
Stop!
You honestly think I'm stupid? I feel like you lie to me every single chance you get!
Ow!
When I tell you to do something, you do it! You disrespectful little bitch!
It is very clear that Julia let things go too far. There were obviously signs that Julia's relationship was an unhealthy one, and her support network failed to properly guide her. For example, Julia's friend advised a wait-and-see approach to dealing with Rick's uncontrollable anger problems. However, this passive approach resulted in Julia receiving numerous wounds, along with mental trauma too. The moment after Julia received her first physical ailments, Julia should have left Rick's house and gone to another friend's house, a family member's house, or a local domestic violence shelter that she thought was safe. Therefore, Julia could have safely evaluated the dangers Rick poses to her. Julia could then realize that her relationship was extremely unhealthy. Although Julia is responsible for her own decisions, sometimes in life people in unhealthy relationships cannot exit them voluntarily. They may require a friend, a family member, or a nearby stranger to recognize the signs of an abusive relationship. Christian anthropology and the joy of the gospel call upon each human to help one another. Each human is a creation of God, thus we all need to take care of one another because we are God's work. Furthermore, individuals must recognize the seriousness of this issue before it becomes out of hand. It comes down to each person to prevent the growing indifference from causing a person to turn a blind eye to an abusive relationship. If you can help save someone from an abusive relationship, please do not hesitate to call 911, communicate your concern with the person being abused, or utilize the internet to find support such as www.domesticshelters.org that provides resources to people like Julia.